Hello everyone, welcome to the final presentation of our project BookBud. Now, you may have thought that what is BookBud? BookBud is basically a portal that will be very helpful for frequent library users by sorting out the books according to their users' preferences. It proposes to unravel a really basic problem, which is to recommend to a reader what to read after they have, suppose, finished reading a certain book. Now, the follow up question would be how the BookBud works. It will work on machine learning and deep learning algorithm, which is very much similar to how the OTT platforms work. It will take suggestions from the users and based on that it will show results. Now, you may ask that will it be helpful for the users? Of course, it will be very helpful in saving time of the readers, which they generally end up wasting due to not being able to decide which one to read. This app will help the library management to gain more customers because everything around us is becoming tech driven, and if the library system does not incorporate anything technical in their system, then they might lag behind. It will be also helpful for authors or publishers because our app will have rating system which by which they can get a knowledge about the market overview and how their book or product is performing. Now, for now, we have thought that we'll start with lesser number of libraries, such as libraries of any university or a specific location, and then we have planned to increase our range and to reach across India. So, currently, our startup has the following positions. Jugal is the Chief Technical Officer, Goutam is the Chief Marketing Officer, Praneeth is the Financial Manager, Harshith is the Public Relations Officer, Suraj is Product Manager, Sai Krishna is Client Support Manager, Jainam is the HR, and myself Kamalika, I am the CEO and COO. As a CEO, my work is to supervise all the works every other department is doing and also to look after all the day to day activities and operational overview as the COO. For example, the Chief Marketing Officer reported that he and his team has done market research and it turns out that many people would like to have an app that gives automated and personalized suggestions. The marketing team along with PR team also finalized the marketing strategy which we are going to follow as of now. Along with the finance team and product management team, we have also finalized the cost structure and revenue streams. And we have also finalized our logo, as we know that the logo can help us to create a help us to create a strong brand image and also help us to stand out from the crowd. Along with other department heads, I have finalized our business model plan as BMP builds a structure of a startup and we understood the various aspects of BMP better. We have also identified our weaknesses, strengths, potential threats, and competitors. As a CEO, my role is to be the face of the startup and to strategize our growth opportunities by meeting and interacting with others. Along with HR, I'm also working towards building a positive work environment, and I'm also looking forward to recruit eligible candidates in our startup who will contribute towards our growth. At last, we are also working towards carving our limitations. And as a tech team and the product development team is working towards building a strong server to keep users' information safe and to make sure that our app is works fine even after gathering large data sets. Thank you.
Hello, yes, this is Jugal Bhatt, Chief Technical Officer from BookBud. So basically, in BookBud, what my role is to basically ensure that all the sides of technical things and all those aspects are held up properly and ensure that nothing is left to chance and everything technical is done properly. So some of my roles are as mentioned over here are development and implementation of all the technical necessities. Like I need to ensure that the interns or the people working under me in the technical department are building and developing all the technical things and testing it at the same time. I also need to ensure that the technical aspect and the servers and everything is working perfectly fine. Then next comes how exactly should the technical product be helping in building the image for the startup as a whole. Like there are a lot of other people involved in the startup, and the technical department should be top notch, which goes on to ensure that the product which the users will receive is top notch as well. So, as you can see over here, basically my next few steps in my what I should do are listed out in this particular image that I just created. So, first of all, I should have the necessary domain knowledge myself before instructing other people working under the technical department to have that. And I need to ensure that whatever resources I have to myself are used in that domain knowledge so that I provide the best possible knowledge to the people working under me. Then the engineering department should be top notch as well because it would go on to ensure that no matter what problem we face, the people working have the necessary capabilities and abilities to ensure that we can get out of it. Strategies is a really important part. Like there are multiple process models involved in creating a technical product, and we went forward with the agile process model because that strategy gives us the option to take continuous feedback from the user and work in sprints in order to make sure that the product is finished right on time and there are no delays for that. Then next comes the product itself. So this is like all of these are important points, but I think that this one is the most important point because the product itself should be of a quality that makes the users come to the product again and again and again without being stopped. And basically, it should have an appeal to the users that yes, this is some technical app or website, whichever they are on, and it is so good that I would definitely visit it again. Business technology is something like to do with the pricing and the business model of what we are planning to do. So it basically includes giving a user some free trial and free things in the beginning to make sure that they are up to date with the app and are knowledgeable enough that they can use the app and decide whether to pay for it or not, and then make the decision. So the free model basically involves giving users free access to the books and everything base, but a limited number of books. But if they move up to the paid or the premium version, they can get access to unlimited books. Then comes the data. Data is one of the most important things in this particular segment of the time which we live in, right? So data is everywhere and everything is data around us. Without data, we cannot even begin to imagine how BookBud would have come into production because BookBud essentially works on the thing that we need data to produce more data. We need data analysis from our previous customers and previous models which we had prepared, and that should be used in the future as well to ensure that the recommendation engine which we are using is basically as perfect and as accurate as possible. Then comes the large teams which we have under the technical department. There is a backend team, there's a front end team, there is a DevOps team which essentially takes care of what exactly is running on the cloud because all our services are leased out to cloud services because that's the most economical for us and we cannot even imagine to host an in-premises on-house servers and on-house technical setups. So the large teams which we require to make this work are working really hard, and to manage them has been fun and challenging and motivating at the same time. Commercial aspects that I just told in business technology, it basically revolves around how exactly we would go about selling a product to people and making an appeal to the people that they should go for the premium version, why they should go for it, and first of all, get them glued into a product so much that they understand its importance and in their own lives, and then can make a decision based on that. Then comes security and compliance. So each and every country has their own set of rules and regulations regarding on how data is managed, how people's accounts should be managed, how exactly different books, policies, and everything should be managed. So, for different countries and different regions, we have our own compliance strategist teams who work round the clock to ensure that our application is in compliance with each and every possible rule out there with different governments. So that's really important, and that's something we do take care of as the technical department. That's been it from my side. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Goutam Govind, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for BookBud. Our product is an online book recommendation company who aims to help people get better book recommendations through analyzing the data of what they've read before. We plan on inculcating the habit of reading in them, and that is super important as people have started not reading. And reading is something that gives a lot of knowledge and information to people. And it's a very, very good habit to inculcate it from a very young age. So that is what we strive to achieve. Our prices will have a monthly subscription model that will be very flexible according to the needs of the people. For this, we'll have a different plan for each person, and each individual can have their own different plan. So we'll also be having a free plan for individuals who don't require it on a very daily basis. So we'll be running ads so that we can generate revenue from it. And there will be a limited number of recommendations in the free version, and for each of the paid versions as well, there will be a number of recommendations that will be given from each. Our plays will be targeting mainly the newer generations who to help them build better reading habits. The people we'll be targeting will be through social media platforms and through physical PR at libraries and spaces at our partner organizations like DC Books or Penguin Books, who have physical stores or Crosswords where we can actually get partnerships. And we'll also be helping subsidizing our subscriptions if for our partner organizations, if we get any through libraries for library members, we'll be giving them better, easier subsidized products as well. For promotion, we have social media, which would include Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, where the newer generation everybody is right now. The physical PR would include events at libraries, outreach campaigns, flyers, giveaway campaigns, and campaign ideation. Digital PR would include social media campaigns, giveaways, targeted advertisements, SEO optimization, and web development. In the social media platform, we'll also be targeting on education of the people, telling them why it's important to read and why BookBud is important for them. We won't be directly selling BookBud, but the importance of reading is the aspect that we'll be selling. And thank you.
Hi, I'm Harshith, Public Relation Officer of our startup BookBud. I'll be responsible for communication, public relation, and public affairs in the organization, and to create good atmosphere so that there will be a good relationship among the employees and the customers. And I'll be the spokesperson of our startup. As a PRO, my main motive will be to create strong brand identity for our startup so that media and users can promote our startup. And I'll be collaborating with the marketing team to create promotional events. These promotional events include campaigns like conducting across wide range of areas near libraries or in many universities, and I'll be conducting and handling all the PR events and the media responses. As a part of the campaigns, we will be collecting the feedback and responses from the users or the customers, and as we will be promoting our startup in a wide range of social media, I'll be collecting the feedback from the client support manager, and we'll update ourselves, and which will be helpful to create a better version with the requirements needed by the user. And I will be writing, editing, and reviewing all the social media contents and release the notes to the media and maintain good relationship across the media and the users. And as a PRO, my main responsibility would be explaining what our startup is to the librarians and the deans or HODs, so that they would allow their students to use our app, and also to have up to date reference list of the books used by the students, so that we can have that list and provide them the books needed for the students or the customers, which will be helpful for them as well as us to create a wide range of positivity around the users. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Praneeth Varma. I'm the financial manager of our startup. As a financial manager, I'll be taking care of all the financial functions of our startup. I'll be maintaining a far-sightedness in order to ensure the funds are utilized in the best order. My main responsibilities as a financial manager are raising and allocation of funds and also profit planning. Coming to the allocation of funds, I have divided the allocation of funds into two parts, which are pre-opening and post-opening expenses. Pre-opening expenses include business plan and research expenses, which means we need a detailed business plan before starting, and also a detailed market research before taking our product into the market. Coming to technological expenses include the costs for creating an app or a website, and also the software licenses which we need to take, and also we need to take insurances and permit fees, which might also cost us. And coming to the opening expenses, they include advertising and promotional expenses. Our marketing officer will be taking care of all the advertising and promotional activities of our startup. And coming to employee expenses, we need to hire some people in order to keep things running. Our HR will be taking care of all the employees and their salaries. And we are also planning to keep some additional funds in case of emergency or unexpected situations. Coming to fundraising, we have two best options there, which are crowdfunding and venture capitals. Crowdfunding is like, the concept of crowdfunding is similar to mutual funds on a basic level. In this option, we'll be having more than one investor who is involved, and they offer us a fixed amount of money based on our business idea, plan of action, and plan of making profits. All we need is people who truly believe in our business idea. Crowdfunding also helps us in getting the crucial funds from the idea stage itself. We can gather crowdfunding from friends, family, or entrepreneurs, or anyone who believes in our idea. Coming to venture capitals are the destination for big investments. They offer us professionally managed funds who are looking for startups that have success potential. The best part about venture capital investment is the expertise and monitoring they bring along. And you can have a look at the expenses. These are the approximate prices for pre-opening and post-opening, and also marketing. And we need a rough estimate of around 5 lakhs to run our company for a month, and with a vision of 2 years, we need around 2.5 crores of investment to run our company for the next 2 years. That's it from my side.
Hello, I'm Kandra. Being a product manager, my department's prime task is to define and decide outcomes to be worked on, which is noble as well as the ones that fulfill our startup's vision. Planning plays a key role in development, and the roadmaps provided help me in proceeding further, making sure that the work undergoing is never going out of track at every stage of development. The product development roadmap is defined with different stages and departments available in the project. Every department has a set of tasks for each step of cycle. We can move them around once done and even know the status with completion percentages. The idea of books at a library being sorted and getting recommendations, which also includes confidentiality of user preferences, integrity between a library and virtual portal, availability of features at any time, are all kept as major dependencies, and the business planning is taken forward. BookBud will be towards efforts to abolish the taboo of librarians, readers believing that it will be very hard for the software to keep track of books in real time, having a huge data set, and also suggest readers that it is not trustable. The recommendation system includes stochastic and non-deterministic deep learning algorithms that require a critical overall assessment and interpretation of their impact, as well as the ability to solve problems without errors, choose appropriate methods, use robust programming, and evaluate the approach's validity. It does matter it in the end, and it may have an impact on the product's outcome and long-term viability. Knowing about the competitors B2B, B2Cs in the market, comparing the features and services offering carries to find new possibility opportunities that make the product stand in the market without falling apart in competitions with product of same domain. Comparing BookBud with other services, we could easily differentiate that even though all the e-content needs of a library are fulfilled by other services but lacks many features like book recommendations, author and genre classifications. BookBud follows agile product management concepts to function flexibly and efficiently. The timeline visible on the slide is a basic structure of this framework. It encourages an adaptive approach to product planning and implementation. So organization can quickly respond to feedback and build products that satisfy customer requirements. My current and future work would be to deliver better quality product with efficient timelines, inculcating improvements based on end user perspective and market standards. Thank you.
I'm client support manager of BookBud. So my job is to manage between clients and BookBud team and check the requirements of the users and include the functionalities into the BookBud, suggesting the team to include this functionalities in the BookBud. So my contribution in this BookBud is to uh, generally, a BookBud functionality is a book recommendation system which offers a personal interest of the users, which requires a lot of data of the users. We need a personalization of every user perspective of the user's taste is. So we have to classify the data using ML programs using Python. So for that we need lots of data from the user. So we have worked on the data uh, to make it the personalized of the user particular user. So it will be more interactive to the user. So we have included other part also, like recommending the book for the user based on their author taste and their personal choices and their behavior on the according to the site data. So keeping this data apart, I was client support manager. I'll play a role as a client. I have to check the requirements of the BookBud meets the client, so that it should be user friendly device, so that uh, it should be useful to the every type of the user. So I have in creative way it should be better chance to every user to use that. So for that we have to check the errors in the site, and also we have to test the model, and we have to give the review to the product manager, and we have to deal with the marketing team also, so that where the BookBud can be fit in the market. So keeping this all in the mind, we have to work with the team and we have to work with the client, and we have to manage that with customer and with team, so that it will be a present generation of marketing system. We need a more user friendly device, so that many customers should be attracted towards our product. So that we need a client support manager. We have to look after each and every single interface of the product. We have to keep that error free, so that it will be a better interface to the users to manage it exactly what we need. So that's all, it's my role.
Hello, this is Jainam Desai, Human Resources Manager for BookBud. As a human resource manager, the primary task is to be the link between the management and the employees. The various roles of the HR includes defining the mission and the culture of the company, building harmony and understanding between employees, building and maintaining trust in the team, resolving conflicts between the employees and between the board members, guidelines for various recruitment processes, salary and the working hours of the employees. The very first time an employee comes in contact with a HR is during the recruitment process. And an HR plays a very crucial role during the recruitment. He or she is responsible for understanding the various skills and to deduce the various skills that are required in an employee. The primary skills which we at BookBud need is proficiency in work, fluency in communication, presentation skills, and experience in his or her field of work. These 4 points are very important for the policy and for the working of our startup. Moving forward, so here working with the various top management executives, here are the following requirements that are needed to for the functioning of our startup. So we'll be requiring backend developers, full front-end developers, full stack developers, mobile app developers to develop our app, graphic designers, video editors and animators, UI UX interns, social media strategy interns, and marketing interns. The salaries has been fixed with discussion of the various respective heads of the domains. Moving forward, so, as an HR, it's very important that one recognizes the strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats that are possessed to the startup. So, as our startup is very unique in nature, hmm, the strengths includes helping users to find a book, a nationwide presence since we are going to be digital, and to an extent, it could be international as well. We always look forward to hire skilled employees, ease of use, as our app has one very simple and specific feature which any user can understand. It is not very cost intensive, and as the product is completely digital, and furthermore, it is time saving for the users as they don't have to spend their important time grazing through the various books and deciding which books they would like or would not like. Weaknesses. Um, the first concern which comes forward is the customers already have a traditional way of finding the books. The services may not be used frequently once the user has found a book, and this can be impactful in case of our revenue. So, our app cannot be our primary source of income. We should definitely look for strategic partnerships, opportunities. Since it has an online presence and increasingly growingly popular employment, providing large array of genres, community can be built around the application. As mentioned earlier, strategic partnerships are very important and building a community-based product is what new startups and is the new age of strategy. Threats. So the threats which are posed to our startup is that there is much competition and the existing competitors are already having identical products. We don't show the same profit and growth. There is a threat of our investors also pulling back. Additional responsibilities. The additional responsibilities include compliance to the various laws and the compliance to government regulations, proper compensation once their employee leaves our startup, adapting to innovation. As a startup, it's very important that we do not stop innovating, as it will obviously lead to further ways in which we can streamline our costs. So innovation is very important. Another very important aspect is retention of talented employees. As employees who understand that they are an asset to the company often tend to leave the company in 2 to 3 years. So if they are, and they often leave for maybe it's a financial reason or new opportunities. So it is important that we understand the needs of our employees and accordingly give them new opportunities and financial raises as per the requirement.